The views expressed in this podcast are for entertainment purposes only. Although explicit language will be used, the opinions of the podcast are not meant to malign any ethnic group, party, institution, or individual. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show.
As always, we appreciate you clicking on the video. You could have been anywhere, doing anything, and you decided to sit down for a minute and listen to us. We appreciate that.
Yes, indeed.
Build it while you fly it at gmail.com. Build it while you fly it is the name of the show.
Yes, sir.
Man, I like being here. It never gets old. It really doesn't for me. The other ones is BWYF on Facebook and BWYF.podcast on Instagram. Please hit us up. Let us know what's going on. We're rocking with a different beat today. Doing our usual 1-2 as always. But
yes, sir.
Hey, listen, y'all. I just had a conversation with somebody who listened to the show, and they had some suggestions as far as, the music and the levels and things of that nature. And they stated that they didn't want to leave that in the comments. Don't do that. Leave it in the comments. If you think the levels need to be adjusted, if you think the lighting we want all of that.
Yeah.
This is just some stuff that we was doing, but as a consumer, as a fan, we really need to know what you want.
Help us.
We taking that information and progress.
Right.
It's what's being made. So by all means, if you possess the ability to have a thought and you want to share it with us, don't let the fact that you don't feel like it's positive support be the reason you don't share that thought. We need all of that. Like I said, email us, comments, like, subscribe, share, notification bells, do all that fun stuff. And ain't no such thing as bad publicity, y'all. We want it all. We want all the smoke. If you love it, if you hate it, leave it in the comments. Let us know. We'll deal with it.
Nope. You are already on one. Yep. Yes, you are.
We're good. We're good.
Yep. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, listen.
Burn. Right.
Burn.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We're doing this shit here. Oh, gosh. Hey, it's been a crazy pre-production today.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, it was seriously nuts.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to having a Patreon and just setting the camera up.
That's what we need, man.
And let this happen.
That was a Patreon discussion.
That was a Patreon discussion.
We're working on some things, y'all.
Man, it's in the works. Y'all, listen.
We are.
This shit right here, whew, this was nuts.
Yeah.
And it took us in a bunch of different directions, bunch of different thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
We had a game plan.
Did we though?
Did
we?
That's true.
Did we?
Looking back, it doesn't feel like we had a game plan anymore.
No.
It didn't.
No.
That's
what happens when discussion happens.
We do have a game plan now.
Right.
We came into the situation prepared, but I haven't asked my mans a couple of questions that I enjoy asking, and I like for things to be genuine. So I want to ask you while you on wax. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, sir. How about you?
I'm holding up, bro. I'm holding up.
Okay.
This time of year always makes me nervous, just because of the holidays coming up.
Okay.
Crazy things happen around the holidays. I got some family members that's here and some family members that ain't here that can contest to that.
Right.
And, as a father, it's our jobs to provide. As
a
husband, it's our jobs to provide. So, you got some expensive holidays coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put smiles on the family faces without going into, some serious debt.
Yeah.
So it's just, financial decisions are coming into play and all that type of stuff. So it's not necessarily, it's just an uneasy feeling always. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
You know what? And if you're a father, or head of your household, man or woman, and you feel that seasons heaviness or seasons anxiety coming on,
the stress of the holidays,
the show is for you.
Indeed, it is. The thought processes is what we try to excite here.
Indeed.
How the girls?
Man, they're doing well.
That's good.
How your kids doing?
Not doing too bad. One is in the middle in between sports.
Okay.
The other one is almost. I'm not going. The other one's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Good word. That's a good word to sum it up. Yeah.
They're good. So yeah, everything's good. The missus is doing just fine.
Okay.
All that other fun stuff. Everybody seems to be holding it together, man.
That's what's up.
Seen multiple videos. I guess we'll just get right into it. I've seen multiple videos on the internet, the intraweb, which, again, as we stated in our group text, I'm really not sure it was a good idea at this point.
Yeah.
I'm really on the fence on if don't get me wrong, love the platform, love the ability to do this every week, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But when I say at what cost,
man,
there are some things on the internet that have no business existing.
Sheesh.
And here we are.
Here we are.
But it got particularly popular when, God rest his soul, when Kobe died.
Okay.
The term daddies, I'm a girl dad,
Yeah.
became extremely popular. And in that regard, to be honest, for good reason. But the thing about it is that in return, you have a lot of women, and I mean grown women,
Absolutely.
saying, I'm a daddy's girl.
Right.
And I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing. But I will say that it is a term that is glorified.
Absolutely.
Now, when you reverse the shoes and the gender, and you say the term mama's boy,
Right.
it is extremely frowned upon.
Definitely a stigma to it.
Most women that I've talked to don't want to have a conversation, date, engage, marry,
Right.
or any of that type of shit.
Take seriously.
Yeah, or take seriously.
Yeah.
To a mama's boy. And I'm like, but a daddy's girl is perfectly acceptable.
So for our viewers, man, what is a daddy's girl and what is a mama's boy? And what is it twofold? And what would be the difference between having a great relationship with your mother as a boy, a great relationship with your father as a daughter, and being a mama's boy or a daddy's girl?
And that's what my question to the situation was, is where do you draw that line?
Right.
Like, where do you go from I love my mama, I'll do anything for Mom Dukes, to I'm a mama's boy?
Son husband. One of those. Sheesh.
And I've seen this happen on a couple of different occasions, and it's one of the saddest things that you could possibly see is when a man refuses to let go, or a mother refuses to allow the other one to just go be who they are.
Do you see that happening in the daddy girl context?
Yes, but here's the thing about, so
This is such a rare conversation, y'all. So
No.
we're gonna take our time with it.
yeah, we trying to, I want to make sure we do this and we do this the right way.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm at with it. In society, and whether you like it or not is irrelevant. In society, here's how this shit works. The man is supposed to be the provider.
Okay.
He's supposed to be the protector of his home, of his family, of his community.
For sure.
Right? The woman has her own set of responsibilities, and it ain't none of them.
Okay.
It ain't none of them. Now, some women do adopt those responsibilities of providing and protecting due to situations and circumstances, and kudos to them. But at the end of the day, there are some things that you are supposed to get as a man from your mother, some lessons that you're supposed to learn, some skills or some traits that you're supposed to pick up. But essentially, you need to be able to go out and go be a man.
Okay.
And when you don't let go of that situation, it hinders you from being able to go out and being that man. From you being the CEO, or you being the director of operations,
employee,
or
across
anything
the board.
of that nature.
Right.
Just a regular, as like you say, just a regular employee, such as myself. But what happens is if you never let that situation go, you never get there. Daddy's girls, in my opinion, and this is just me, they possess the ability to still go out and do the things that they are supposed to do. The problem traditionally comes into play with daddy's girls is when it comes to conflict, which is traditionally when the rubber meets the road in most situations.
Go deeper.
What you cannot do is assume that there will always be somebody there to handle all of your difficult situations. I got no problem with you going to get advice, but advice on the situation and having somebody else handle it for you is the interesting part, where daddy's girls, the line gets drawn. Moms have to let go and allow their son to be man. He ain't gonna never be a man if he always your baby. And for fathers that have daughters, I feel like it's important that you not solve all of your daughter's conflicts. I get that it is your responsibility to protect. I get it is your responsibility to provide. But what you have to do is give these women the skills that they need to be successful in these types of situations.
Talk your stuff, man.
So that's the difference. The issue with it is depending on the woman,
Okay.
they can still be extremely successful at the things that they're doing. When if they do have any sort of conflict that can be resolved by a man, they just call their father. You can still be extremely successful in a lot of situations.
Okay.
As a woman, as a man, there are not a whole lot of things that you are going to be successful at if your mother never gives you the opportunity to grow into the man that you need to be. That is my...
Can your mother raise a man, though?
Oh, not only can they do, that shit happens on a regular basis.
There's a saying out there that moms don't raise men. That's why I'm asking. I don't necessarily agree with either, because every situation is different.
Okay.
But if mama's boy has a stigma to it, then how are women raising men if mama's boy has such a negative stigma to it?
Women possess the ability to raise men.
Agreed.
There will always be some things that a woman can never teach a man how to do, that it would help him if he knew.
So what I'm asking is the majority of the time mama's boy considered a negative stigma, or is the majority of the time it considered a positive thing?
The first thing that pops into my head when somebody says their mama's boy is negative.
Okay, so that's kind of what I'm asking, because when I was listening to you, I was thinking about how I think the solution is often in the problem, right? And if you kind of sit down and be patient enough and dissect the problem, the solution will reveal itself. I think that with both daddy's girl and mama's boy, there's an issue of not letting go.
Easily.
On both sides.
Easily.
Right?
Both, yeah.
And I can't tell
both
you.
genders and both parties and both sides of that.
Parent and child.
Yeah, parent and child, yes.
And I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say who are a couple or married that having too many opinions, too many this or that from outside
the household
was creating more hurdles and issues in the marriage and or relationship. So it sounds like there's these issues of letting go in order to create something new, because that's what you're doing when you form your own household.
Yeah.
Right. But maybe you elaborate on that. What does it look like to let go?
I'm not a huge fan of this man in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm actually, I guess for lack of a better term, not a fan. But one of the things I heard in Tyler Perry, it might have been a movie or show, whatever the hell it was. One of the things I heard one of the characters say was, the best thing you give your kids is roots and wings.
Okay.
Ground them. Teach them what life is like down here. And then wings. Give them an aerial view of the foundation that they come from.
Okay.
And when you let go of a child before the age of 18 and start to allow them to be. And when I say let go, I ain't talking about just being out all kinds of times of the night. That's not letting go. That's stupid.
Right.
I'm not talking about letting your kid drink or smoke at home because you know where they at and they safe. And long as they doing it at home, they gonna be fine. No, none of that shit translates into letting go. What happens is when you truly let go of your children, in my opinion, you have opened the lines of communication.
Okay.
And what you're allowing them to do is to come to you and bounce ideas, thought processes, personal situations, circumstances that your child is going through. They could come to you with them and you be honest in return. That's when you have officially let go, in my opinion.
You made me think of something, man. I've seen situations where parents were mad at their children and situations where children were mad at their parents simply because there was an issue of not letting go. And when I think of letting go, I think of as from a parent to a child, hey, even if you don't do what I think you should do, I still love you and I'm still here for you.
That part.
That looks like an example to me of letting go. Not the only example, but an example, right? And from a parent to a child, hey, I'm going to honor and respect you regardless of if you're honorable or respectable.
Yeah.
But because you're my parent, I'm going to still have this reverence for you regardless of your performance. Because it's what I should do. It's because who I should be. Right?
Yep.
And that's just an example. Again, that's not the only, but just an example.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure there's ply of others out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of other situations and so on and so forth. But I mean, I could tell you, like for instance, I'm gonna leave names completely out of the situation, of course.
Wise man.
I know of a situation where a daughter didn't call either one of her parents. Okay. Because her car ran out of gas.
Okay.
And she didn't want to get yelled at. That's lack of communication.
It is.
The roots should be deeper than that, and the wings should be bigger than that.
Of course.
Like, and I explained that there's that's both parties got to handle that.
Right.
You need to be able to make that phone call, and whoever answered that phone, his main concern shouldn't be an emotional response. It should be,
right,
here I come.
Yeah. And as a rule of thumb, perhaps we should be willing to at least hear the opinion of those whose help we need.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like this help me but shut up, or shut up and help.
Yeah, shut up and help.
Right?
Yeah, seen that before.
And that's maybe not the most healthy approach.
No, it don't work.
Or connection.
It don't work. But but on the kid side, like you said, that there's a mutual respect and understanding regardless of the situation and the circumstances.
Right.
So like if I tell my son not to drink and then we have a family game night and now the parents and adults are sitting in the room playing Jeopardy or Family Feud, and we drunk.
Right.
We've been drinking for 2 hours, enjoying the shit out of each other's company.
Right.
They look like they're having an absolute ball. And everybody's been drinking. Right. But he just told me not to drink. Right. But you need to have that mutual respect and understanding and things of that nature, so that's what letting go looks like.
And also understand that your father doesn't have to get up to go to school in the morning.
That part.
You know what I mean? Just
that part.
Just throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? So
that part. Hey, can you grab my beer from upstairs, please? I left it upstairs.
Speaking of which.
Yeah. Speaking of which. That shit.
Burn.
Didn't time that beautifully without any intentions. I'm sitting over here like, I got a beer somewhere. Listen, y'all, just a little behind the scenes stuff. You ain't gotta edit that out down. We'll leave it in there. But yeah, so I don't put them in the same boat. I don't put mama's boy and daddy's girl in the same boat. Because usually, if you are a mama's boy, you lacking. At least that is, in my opinion. That's the first thing I get to without knowing you, without knowing your personal situation.
Right.
In my opinion, if you're a mama's boy, you lacking in some shit. There's some shit that you should have learned on how to be a man that you never figured out.
Okay. So can you walk us through your opinion of the line between having a healthy relationship as a boy or a male with your mother, and how not to cross over that line into mama's boy land?
For the son,
Okay.
it's independence.
Okay.
It is. It's independence. It's you possess the ability to financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically support yourself if you had to,
Okay.
without the assistance of anyone. Now,
Is that for male? Is that for son and daughter, both as adults?
yes,
Okay.
that definitely applies to both.
Okay.
Both situations that we're discussing. Now,
Okay.
here's the thing that matters on the boy side of it is the emotional part.
The intangibles.
Yes, this is the one that men traditionally lack.
Talk your stuff.
Is that when you're a mama's boy, what you have never possessed the ability to do is truly control your emotions,
Okay.
particularly in a one-on-one and in group settings.
Can I pause you? Watch this. There's literally a saying, take it like a man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Which I'm not a huge fan of, but continue.
neither am I.
Okay,
It opens the door for abuse
it does.
to men, but
Yeah,
you don't typically learn that from your mom as a male, as a son,
you don't.
right? Go ahead.
You don't. So, but essentially, that's the one that matters.
Yeah.
That's the one that matters. When you possess the ability to take a punch,
Right.
whether it be a punch in the heart, a punch in the stomach, a punch in the head, whatever that is,
Right.
can you roll with the punches?
Can you walk away unscathed?
Can you walk away unscathed and continue? Because life's gonna hit you,
Right.
whether you want to or not.
Right.
Life's gonna throw the punches.
Exactly.
You got to be able to take them.
You got to.
You got to be able to take them. And if you always have the umbrella of a mom, and listen, y'all can hate this or not, women are more emotional than men. This is fact. So when that happens, you need to be able to handle that.
Okay.
And if you can't, because nobody ever put you in a situation where you needed to.
Have you ever heard of discussions kind of centered around toxic masculinity being linked to a mother and son relationship?
No.
I've heard discussions and seen material concerning that. I didn't go in too deep with it,
Okay.
but as we talk now, thinking about the mama's boy context, perhaps that may be contributing to what some may say is toxic masculinity in a sense.
Makes sense.
I never made the connection before, but as we sit here and talk, man, I'm thinking about it. Like,
It makes sense. It
not,
does. It
not
makes
knowing
sense.
how to regulate those emotions, and testosterone untethered is basically what you kind of see in certain neighborhoods where the crime rate is high as far as violence is concerned.
And any sort of thing that shows that you have emotions that need to be in any shape, form, or fashion catered to, you are
Right.
deemed as soft.
Yeah.
And to be honest, most inner cities and neighborhoods in that nature, you're not allowed to think outside the box
At all. You are celebrated
at all.
for doing time in prison,
Yeah,
not time in the university.
yeah. You do 4 years at a university or 4 years in prison.
In most, speaking as someone who used to work as a barber, just just so y'all understand where I'm coming from. I've seen it. Oh, you in college? Oh, okay. Somebody come walking through the door who did, I don't know how much time is.
It's a whole celebration.
A turn up.
Yeah, seen that happen before as well. I mean, think about it this way. If you told everybody in your hood that you was going to LeBron James basketball clinic for 3 weeks in Akron over the summer at 15, 16, 17 years old versus you telling everybody in your hood you going to coding school for the summer. Like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, these are the type of reactions that you get.
You might have a better chance at making it to the coding school. I can't tell you how many talented young men.
Man.
I'm talking about at the high school level who had promise of going D1 or just going to college in general ended up dead.
Yeah.
At the corner store.
I taught a couple of kids how to swim. They asked me, how do you use that? Pointing to the diving board. And I showed them. And with, I want to say maybe 45 minutes of instruction, they was on a meter board doing 1.5 pikes. If you in the swimming world, you know what all of this stuff is. If you don't, Google it, and I'll let that happen. But the thing about it is that I'm talking about rob some people in jail and will be in jail for years. Talent wasted. You could have easily swam yourself right out of East Cleveland, Ohio without even trying hard, and you are now in prison. Yes, that's you're absolutely right. That's part of the stigmatism in the way that whole situation works. Now, here's the thing. Were they
mama's boys?
Essentially, yes.
Do you have a choice if you do not have a relationship with your father?
Do you have a choice? I don't think any of us have choices in the matter. Essentially, in my opinion, it needs to be priorities for the parents first. And once the children are raised learning the priorities of the parents, at that point, it becomes a priority for them.
Okay.
So, as a child, you don't know that you're a mama's boy. You just know you love your mama in any situation you go in.
Right.
You can do it. Listen, pause this, turn on First 48. And fast forward to the part where they put anybody in that holding cell. Ask them who they want. A lawyer and a mama.
Bro.
That's not my opinion. Go to the First 48 and watch it and tell me what happens when they arrest anybody between the ages of 14 and 22 and see who they ask for. Because I guarantee you they're going to ask you for they need a lawyer and call my mama.
Bro, Chris Rock just did a special on Netflix. Y'all haven't checked it out, check it out. He literally said he thought it was funny that a lot of the people who do these mass shootings and this, that, and the third, they not adults out here in society doing it big. He was like, they live at home.
Yeah.
With moms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man, I never thought about that.
Yeah, they live at home with their mothers.
But I'm motivated as an individual.
Yeah.
Who's trying to make sure the credit is right, this, that, and the third. I'm not trying to take penitentiary chances. And I'm no better than anybody else.
No.
But once you start to put in a certain amount of work and invest a certain amount into yourself, you don't want to see that go to waste. Now,
you don't.
Have I, in my time period, and this is personal for me, man, because for the longest,
speak your truth, Nick.
For the longest, bro,
put that out there. Come on, man.
I've had forgiveness issues with my biological father, bro, and not knowing that was fueling a lot of
other stuff.
I hurt a lot of people. I left a lot of bodies, not literal people. Jesus Christ. This is internet. I forgot.
Listen, cancel culture is real. Be specific in what you say. We're gonna get to the bottom of it.
I mean.
There you go. Tread lightly.
Broken a lot of hearts. People.
There you go. Just to be specific.
Jesus Christ.
Specific.
Forgot where I was for a second. On the internet.
Yeah.
But just did a lot of stuff in the name of unforgiveness, bro.
Yeah.
And I didn't know because that I think that abandonment issue of not knowing the story, not having a sufficient amount of information, just a whole lot of unanswered questions, man.
Yeah.
When your parents are not
your parents have a responsibility.
Yeah, when they're not a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
It's like you put your kids in a funny spot.
No, listen, I vividly remember because, listen, those who know me well enough. They know my parents. And if you know me, you know both my parents. Now, with that being said, my mother and father got divorced when I was 8, I think. 8 or 9. I think I was 8. Yeah. So, the thing about that is that both parents were there. But there were some situations where I was young and I was at the house by myself. This was the 90s. You could leave kids in the grocery store in the car with the window up. Didn't nobody die. You know, you cut macaroni and cheese and
it was hot in that car.
Mayonnaise and ham on the same cutting board. Nobody got E. Cola. Like all that type of fun shit back then. This was.
And if you ever had to sit in the car.
There you go.
With the windows up.
With the windows
on
up.
On a 90-degree day.
And didn't die. Email the show at builditwhileyouFly at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
You made it through.
Good job. So, you know, back then things was different. Shit wasn't exactly catered to kids, and our parents was the generation of a do what I say, not as I do type of deal. Like, I don't really give a damn what. I don't need a reason. I told you to do something. Do it, and do it right the hell now. Right now is when you about to do it. You got smacked for back talk, for any type of extra lip. Once you got instructions, you was supposed to follow the instructions, not talk about the instructions in any shape, form, or fashion. So there were some situations where it was like, yo, stay here, be good, I'll be back. I gotta go to work. And I'm at the house by myself. Now, as a kid, it got cool for a while. It was like, yeah, this is dope. I can watch whatever I want to watch. I can eat wherever I want to eat. This, you know, all this type of shit. And then after a while, I'm like, why am I here alone? And again, like you said, it was due to the circumstances of that non-cohesive unit. Whether it was a unit or not, it wasn't the same unit that it once was. And I have vivid memories, still do, of back in the when,
of course,
everybody was good, when everybody was in the same house. When I could jump on my mama and my daddy bed, not just my mama bed, like that type of shit. So yeah, I definitely agree. So here's the thing though. Daddy's girls.
Okay.
They're traditionally extremely impatient women, especially in regards to men. But it ain't just like boyfriends. It also ends up being any sons that they have or bosses that they might have, any male coworkers or anything of that nature. Because here's what happens. Anytime there was a situation where they needed a man to provide, to protect, to do for them in any shape, form, or fashion, a daddy's girl always had their daddy.
Okay.
So now when she goes to date a man and he starts to show his true self, some of his imperfections are available.
Okay.
For the world to see. Not just you, but for the world to see. Most daddy's girls don't possess their patience because it's like, no, anytime I have a problem, I go to my father. Because he's always been there for me. Now I have a problem with you. You told me that you were supposed to replace him. All these bills ain't paid. Anytime I need money, I go to my pops. There's shit around here that's broke, that don't work. These walls need mending. These pipes need tightening. Anytime I had any of these issues, I call my pops. Why you can't do this? Which is completely unfair.
It's like trying to screw something in with a hammer.
Then they end up having a son. And then the expectations on the son is to be their father. And a lot of times in those type of situations, those expectations get placed way too early. This is how you end up with 13-year-olds out on the street, 10-year-olds out on the street going to get groceries, going to get their hair cut by themselves and all that type of stuff. Ladies, there's some shit that's happening in the barbershop that most men probably shouldn't be exposed to till about 17, maybe 18.
Yep.
Depending on what barbershop you're going to. Now, if you done been to the barbershop and seen the people and have expectations for the people in the barbershop, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you told your 10-year-old, go get a haircut, which I have personally seen, and he come back with a haircut, they wasn't really protecting him in that barbershop. They had no reason to. There was no attachment to this kid that was there.
And depending on how you look, mama.
Yes.
Your son might have been put in an awkward position because when you turned around to walk out that door.
If you showed up and then you left, you was the topic of conversation. I promise.
And your son had to listen to.
He had to sit there through that.
What these grown men would do to you.
Mm-hmm. He had to sit through that. Ain't no filter in some places.
Can
the barbershop is definitely one of them.
Awkward. Awkward.
So those you're gonna be my father expectations get placed on boys way too early.
Yes, indeed.
Those you need to be what my father is expectations get placed on men in the dating world traditionally way too early and way too aggressively. Okay. Every man wants to be with the woman who loves and respects their father. But what you can't ask this man to do is to be something that he's not, because he ain't your daddy.
Man.
He wants to be his own man. He has his own expectations. He's stepping foot forward, and his plan, if he's a good guy, is to protect and provide.
So how do we get to take it like a man? It's probably another show.
No, listen.
That's probably a whole nother show.
Take it like a man is easily could easily be a whole nother show.
That's a series.
A whole nother show.
That's a series, man.
Cause man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Lord. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. My mind is racing with it. I'm not doing that.
We need notepads, y'all.
We might need whole laptops sitting in front of us at some point. We're working on it. What y'all think? Y'all think we need laptops? Y'all like the lights? You like the shades? Y'all like my sweater? I thought my sweater was dope.
Yes, indeed.
The Browns thing is on because the Browns are playing right now, Thursday night. That's how we get down to Northeast Ohio. So,
yes, indeed.
Go Brownies. I think they playing who? Denver?
Denver.
Yeah, they playing Denver. Where we at on time, Dom?
38.
We ain't said nothing to Dom all day, have we?
I just been listening. It's been fun.
Dom just soaking up all the games.
Yeah. Just listen, soak that in. Soak that in by all means. Man. I want to do it. No, listen. I want to do it bad because I don't.
Give us a hot take. Just a hot take. Just a hot take. If you can manage.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best to keep it.
All right.
Kind of consolidated.
All right.
A long time ago.
Okay.
Emotions was a female characteristic.
Okay.
And I think men around this same time were being quote unquote successful by not showing emotion.
Okay.
Hence the term take it like a man.
Okay.
Now that's without any research. That's without it's basically a generational thing. Like I know me and I know my son and some of my son's friends. Right. I also know my father.
Right.
And a lot of my father's friends and my uncles and things of that nature. And a lot of these cats are emotionless.
Okay.
Grandfathers that just did not care.
Right. That was a sign of their time.
That was a sign of their time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that take it like a man shit actually started.
Okay. Let's do some homework on it, man. And do a deep dive into it, man. Because
I want to know when it came out, where does that statement date back to?
Right.
And I want to analyze that time period for men.
Right.
And I want to find out what it means now.
I'm curious to what the top song, movie, entertainment was when that came out as well.
When that statement gets dated back to.
Yeah.
Listen, if you made it this far on the show, I definitely appreciate you as always. But give me your take right now of what take it like a man means.
Yes, indeed.
Man, we talking to you. If you're watching this show, please, I want to know. BWYFlyer@gmail.com. I want to know what that statement means to you. If you use it, if it applies to any aspect of your life.
Absolutely. We want to hear from you.
I want to hear from you. And that will be where we start next week.
Yes, indeed. Let's
God
do it.
damn it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I like it. I brought my son in on this, y'all. He's doing some of the behind the scenes work and production work and things of that nature. Everybody who know me know how I feel about my kids, so it just makes this even more enjoyable for me.
Yes, sir.
It really does.
Yes, sir.
Really, truly does. You got anything you want to close out with, my friend?
Like, comment, subscribe. We love y'all.
Notifications bell.
Notification. We see y'all next time, man.
Every day you wake up, God gave you a choice and a chance. Do something with both of them.
Indeed.
I'll talk to y'all.
Peace.